alien armada loomed above Earth, its colossal vessels casting deep shadows over the oceans and sprawling cities below. The ships, crafted from an unfamiliar and shimmering metal, stood as a testament to the aliens' sense of dominance. At least, that was their belief. Earth, a mere insignificant dot in the grand scheme of the galaxy, was considered an effortless conquest. The invasion leaders had no reason to think otherwise. They had already overtaken planets with far greater technology and resistance. We faced more challenge from recruits during drills. One of the alien officers sneered as he studied the holographic display showing Earth's military forces. The command center filled with the sound of quiet laughter. To them, Earth's defenses were laughably outdated. Their intelligence reports indicated basic tanks, aircraft, and rudimentary firearms. How could such ancient tools withstand an empire armed with energy barriers, plasma artillery, and gravity-manipulating weaponry? Deploy the vanguard, the fleet commander instructed. Let's gauge the strength of these humans. Sleek attack vessels began their descent through the planet's atmosphere, aiming for strategic military installations. Their speed and accuracy were unmatched, and they fully expected Earth's defenses to collapse almost immediately upon contact. The humans scrambled their fighter jets. Tanks rolled out in formation, and soldiers, armed with rifles, assembled to defend their world. It was almost a nostalgic sight, one the invaders found oddly amusing. The first wave of plasma blasts obliterated several tanks and sent jets spiraling to the ground in flames. Ground troops scattered, moving like ants under a magnifying glass. "This is proving easier than expected," another officer remarked, with a tone of casual indifference. The alien fleet was ready for a rapid victory, and Earth's initial attempts to counterattack only seemed to validate their low expectations. Their forces encountered no opposition worth noting, but the humans did not retreat. Despite the overwhelming odds and losses, they continued to fight. Soldiers grabbed weapons from fallen comrades, reorganized their lines, and returned fire. Tactical adjustments came swiftly. Damaged jets took to the air again, flying erratically to avoid incoming fire, and even managed to down a few alien ships with surprising precision. Stubborn creatures, the commander muttered, not yet worried, though a faint trace of irritation colored his words. The alien fleet advanced, firing plasma blasts that melted tanks and aircraft into pools of molten slag. The carnage was absolute, yet the humans still stood their ground. Despite the superior firepower, the invaders were puzzled. In every other conquest, their advanced technology alone had been enough to instill fear and force a swift surrender. But the humans, they refused to back down. "Why do they persist?" a young officer asked, bewildered by the human resilience. "They're primitive beings," the commander replied. "It's their instinct to fight until there's nothing left. But it doesn't matter. They'll fall soon enough." However, even as he spoke, reports began to flood in of unexpected alien casualties. Small reconnaissance teams and advance units started disappearing without a trace. Communication lines in certain sectors went dark. Alien leaders dismissed these incidents as sabotage or technical glitches, refusing to accept that such an undeveloped species could be posing any real threat. One report detailed an entire squad of alien soldiers being wiped out by human guerrilla tactics. The survivors described hit-and-run attacks, humans moving swiftly through dense terrain, using the environment to their advantage in ways the invaders hadn't anticipated. Drones dispatched for surveillance never returned. The light-hearted atmosphere in the command center began to shift. Yet, the alien officers still didn't take these incidents seriously. They were, after all, the invincible conquerors. "Just lucky shots," the fleet commander insisted. "Continue the advance." Their arrogance blinded them to the warning signs, still believing that their advanced weapons and overwhelming numbers would crush any remaining resistance. In their eyes, Earth was just another planet to be brought under control. Its defeat was inevitable. Confident in their power, the commanders prepared for another wave of assaults, certain that humanity was nearing its breaking point. But Earth was far from surrendering. On the ground, human troops communicated in hushed tones, coordinating movements and planning attacks with careful precision. They had already identified vulnerabilities in the alien armor, aiming at exposed joints and weak spots in the energy shields of the ships. The alien technology, while advanced, was not without its flaws. The humans, with their creativity and resourcefulness, were exploiting these weaknesses with surprising effectiveness. In a daring mission, a team of human commandos infiltrated an alien base using stolen codes and a thorough understanding of the alien language that Earth's cryptologists had secretly decoded. They disrupted supply lines and disabled several critical installations. The aliens, caught completely off guard, scrambled to restore control over their systems. "They're adapting," one of the senior alien officers muttered, frowning. This was not part of their plan. "They can't hold out for much longer, the fleet commander said, but the confidence in his voice had faded. For the first time, there was doubt. However, the humans weren't merely resisting, they were evolving. The aliens, blinded by their overconfidence, failed to recognize that the situation had shifted. What they once thought would be an easy invasion was turning into a dangerous conflict. The humans, whom they had mocked as inferior, were proving to be far more resilient than anticipated. The commander glanced at the rising reports of casualties among their troops, the silence in the control room now heavy and tense. Earth's defenses hadn't crumbled. Instead, they had grown stronger, and humanity wasn't just surviving, they were preparing to strike back. In human command centers, there was urgency but not panic. Despite the intensity of the alien assault, Earth's defenders had regrouped and adapted far faster than the invaders expected. Deep within fortified underground bunkers, Earth's military leaders analyzed the battle reports. The alien weaponry was far beyond anything they had ever encountered, but it wasn't unbeatable. Patterns began to emerge. Vulnerabilities in the enemy's defenses became increasingly apparent. The aliens had made a critical error. They underestimated humanity's adaptability. Let's hit them with something they won't anticipate, a high-ranking officer declared, his eyes fixed on the tactical displays. Behind him, a team of scientists and strategists worked around the clock, formulating new tactics on the spot. Detailed plans were set in motion, and the command was given. It was time for a coordinated counteroffensive. The human military knew brute force wouldn't be enough. They needed to be strategic. They prepared a meticulously planned assault, one that relied on precision, stealth, and the aliens' own arrogance. Human intelligence had uncovered flaws in the enemy's advanced technology, weaknesses hidden in plain sight. The invaders' dependence on AI and automated systems, while efficient, left them vulnerable to sabotage in ways they hadn't anticipated. On multiple fronts, human forces launched their strikes, but this wasn't a direct assault. Small, specialized units were deployed to alien outposts, employing a mix of classic guerrilla tactics and cutting-edge cyber warfare. They disrupted alien communications, severed supply lines, and turned the aliens' technology against them. EMP devices were used to neutralize alien weaponry in targeted areas, leaving their once mighty ships immobile as human teams attacked swiftly before reinforcements could respond. The aliens, used to swift and overwhelming victories, were caught off guard. For the first time, they faced an opponent that wasn't cowed by their technological edge. Humans, rather than retreating, had adjusted to the situation. Each skirmish became more intense, and the aliens started to realize they weren't facing a simple, technologically backward species. They were up against a tactically astute foe. The first significant blow to the alien forces occurred when an elite human squad infiltrated a key control center. These soldiers had been trained for months in sabotage, preparing for a conflict that no one had expected them to win. Using their knowledge of the terrain and advanced camouflage technology, the team bypassed alien defenses, infiltrated the base, and set up a network of devices designed to disrupt the enemy's operations. Once activated, the devices sent chaos through the alien ranks. Communications were cut, weapon systems malfunctioned, targeting software failed, and the fleet's coordination disintegrated. Alien officers scrambled to regain control, but it was too late. The damage was done, and human forces seized the opportunity, launching precise strikes at crucial points in the alien infrastructure. The alien commanders, who had once mocked Earth's outdated weapons, now faced an unsettling silence. Reports of human victories poured in from across the globe. Alien bases were being seized. Squads of human soldiers, once outmatched and overpowered, now stood triumphant over the fallen bodies of their alien foes. And it wasn't just the military leading the charge. Civilians had joined the fight, creating chaos within enemy lines, sabotaging alien supply routes, and supporting the resistance however they could. Still, the alien leadership refused to concede. Instead, they grew increasingly desperate. Orders came down for heightened aggression. Entire cities were marked for annihilation in a bid to break human resolve. Alien forces unleashed their most destructive weapons, leveling entire regions in mere moments. The ground quaked, buildings were reduced to rubble, and the night sky burned with flames as the aliens escalated their assault. Yet, for every blow the aliens struck, the humans struck back. Earth's forces, scattered and mobile, adapted swiftly to the changing battlefield. They had anticipated this. They had studied the aliens' tactics, their maneuvers, and their weapons. No longer were they simply reacting. They were planning ahead, predicting alien moves, and staying a step ahead of their strategies. And with every alien setback, the cracks in their once invincible front grew wider. Alien officers, accustomed to swift and decisive victories, began to question their assumptions. How could these humans, with their seemingly inferior technology, hold out so effectively? It defied everything they knew. Their empire had subjugated planets planets effortlessly. Entire civilizations had collapsed at the mere sight of their fleet. But these humans, they didn't crumble. They didn't give up. More reports arrived, detailing further alien losses that weren't just in equipment but in morale. Alien soldiers, who had once relished the thrill of conquest, now faced the stark reality that this battle might not end in their favor. The humans were undeterred. They showed no fear of the aliens' overwhelming firepower. Instead, they fought with a ferocity and determination the aliens had never encountered. Each defeat forced the alien commanders to rethink their strategies. The turning point came when human forces, having mastered the intricacies of alien technology, managed to disable a critical enemy warship. Through a combination of EMP attacks and cyber warfare, they dismantled the ship's defenses, leaving it exposed to a well-coordinated human assault. Earth's soldiers stormed the vessel, breaching its hull with precision explosives and systematically eliminating alien soldiers with an efficiency that left no room for error. The ship, once a symbol of alien supremacy, was captured. Human forces quickly learned its systems, harnessing its technology and turning it against the alien fleet it once served. Outraged and shocked, the aliens launched a counteroffensive, but by then, the tide had shifted. The damage was done. Earth's defenders had shown they could not only resist the invasion but could also achieve victory. The victory wasn't just tactical, it was psychological. The aliens, once so certain of their superiority, were now facing a reality they hadn't anticipated. The humans, whom they had dismissed as weak and primitive, had proven to be formidable opponents. The aliens had miscalculated Earth's resilience, and now they were suffering the consequences. In their command centers, alien officers scrambled to regroup and rethink their strategies, but it was clear that control of the battlefield had slipped through their grasp. What was meant to be a swift, decisive conquest had devolved into a prolonged and grueling war. The longer it dragged on, the more evident it became that they might not hold the advantage after all. Emboldened by their growing successes, human forces pushed the advantage. Their attacks grew more coordinated, their strikes increasingly precise. Each victory, no matter how small, chipped away at the aliens' once unshakable confidence. And with each passing day, it became clear Earth wasn't merely surviving, it was turning the tide. The aliens, now struggling to maintain order, had misjudged not only Earth's resilience but also the unpredictable nature of human warfare. Their initial technological dominance had given them a false sense of security, but now their arrogance was crumbling under the weight of human tactical ingenuity and sheer determination. The realization set in, the longer this conflict continued, the worse it would become for the invaders. Humanity's true strength wasn't just in technology, it was in their adaptability. The aliens had grown dependent on their advanced systems, automated responses, and artificial intelligence. But humans, with their creativity and tactical flexibility, had shown they could turn every setback into an opportunity. In the chaos of battle, they adapted faster than the alien commanders could counter. Back aboard the alien fleet, tension was palpable among the leadership. They had suffered losses in areas they had believed impenetrable, and reports of human victories were becoming more frequent. The realization that Earth's defenders weren't merely holding out but thriving in the fight sent ripples of unease through the alien ranks. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. Their overwhelming firepower should have secured a swift victory, but Earth's resistance shattered those expectations. Alien generals, once confident in their strategy, now quarreled among themselves. Some demanded more aggressive measures, pushing for the deployment of their most destructive weapons to crush the humans before they could fully regroup. Others, however, began to doubt whether brute force would be enough. The humans had demonstrated an uncanny ability to endure even the most devastating attacks, and the alien forces were beginning to feel the strain as their resources dwindled. Attrition was wearing them down. Earth's forces, meanwhile, faced no such shortage. They had mastered the art of scavenging and repurposing alien technology, transforming captured weapons and ships into assets. Engineers and scientists, working in secret laboratories, tirelessly reverse-engineered alien tech to develop hybrid weaponry, fusing Earth's rugged, practical designs with the invaders' sleek efficiency. What began as desperate efforts for survival had transformed into a full-scale campaign of innovation and retaliation. One of the most crucial breakthroughs came when Earth scientists deciphered the mechanics behind the alien energy shields. These shields, once considered impenetrable, were the cornerstone of the aliens' dominance. However, through a mix of careful observation and relentless experimentation, humans discovered a way to bypass them using frequency disruption combined with electromagnetic pulses. With this technology compromised, the alien ships and ground forces lost their greatest strategic advantage. Earth's forces wasted no time in exploiting this discovery. Armed with newly developed weapons designed to penetrate alien defenses, they coordinated a large-scale assault on a key alien stronghold. The impact was catastrophic for the invaders. Alien troops, confident in the protection of their energy shields, were blindsided when human forces breached their defenses with ease. Chaos ensued as Earth's soldiers methodically dismantled the alien fortifications, advancing swiftly and driving the invaders into retreat. What had once appeared as an unassailable fortress fell within hours, leaving the alien command scrambling to recover. The psychological impact was profound. The humans, initially dismissed as a trivial annoyance, had now proven they could dismantle even the aliens' most fortified positions. On the ground, the balance of power had shifted dramatically. Human soldiers, once overpowered and outmatched, now fought with a newfound confidence, often holding the upper hand. Familiar with the terrain, aware of their enemies' vulnerabilities, and driven by a relentless determination, they seized the advantage. The aliens, who had once derided Earth's soldiers as primitive and disorganized, now faced a reality they had never anticipated. They were losing. Alien morale, which had once soared, plummeted. Commanders who had previously given orders with certainty now hesitated. The humans displayed a level of ferocity and tactical brilliance that the aliens had not prepared for. Worse still, the invaders had no effective response. Every new tactic they employed was swiftly met with precise and devastating counterattacks. Their traditional strategies, successful on countless other worlds, were utterly ineffective here. Earth was unlike any other planet they had attempted to conquer. The alien fleet, still stationed in orbit, was no longer the untouchable threat it once was. With their newfound understanding of alien energy shields, human scientists began developing methods to target the ships directly. Satellite-based weaponry, enhanced with reverse-engineered alien technology, now posed a serious risk to the fleet. For the first time, the aliens found themselves vulnerable even in space. Earth's forces, emboldened by their success on the ground, shifted their focus to the fleet. Meticulously planned strikes aimed at key vessels and disrupted alien supply chains. The once unified and coordinated fleet was now fragmented, with its ships struggling to fend off the relentless barrage of attacks. The invaders, once confident in their dominance, were now fighting to survive. Alien commanders issued frantic orders to regroup, but their communications were blocked, their systems infiltrated, and their strategies outmaneuvered by human tacticians. Back on Earth, humanity had united in a way not seen for centuries. The alien invasion had accomplished what no political alliance or ideology ever could. It had unified the planet. Former rival nations now shared resources, technology, and intelligence. In the face of a common enemy, there was no room for division, and this unity, this collective will to survive and fight back, became humanity's greatest strength. The war had shifted from mere survival to a quest for victory. Earth's forces, now experienced and bolstered with advanced alien technology, were no longer just defending. They were preparing to strike back. Plans were already underway for a counteroffensive aimed at the alien fleet's command center. It was a daring strategy, one that demanded flawless execution, but if successful, it would deliver the decisive blow to end the invasion once and for all. Realizing how precarious their position had become, the alien commanders considered the possibility of retreat. They had arrived at Earth expecting a swift and effortless conquest, but instead, the planet had become a battleground where they faced relentless resistance. The humans had turned their own weapons against them, mastered their technology, and demonstrated a level of resilience and tenacity that sheer firepower couldn't break. Every additional day the aliens remained on Earth increased their risk of complete destruction. Yet retreat was not in their nature. The alien empire had never pulled back from a planet once an invasion was launched. To retreat now would signal weakness throughout the galaxy, a blemish on their empire's reputation. Determined to reclaim their dominance, they prepared for one final, all-out assault. Their forces regrouped, and their ships, though damaged and diminished, repositioned for a massive offensive. But Earth's defenders were prepared. They had anticipated this desperate move and planned accordingly. As the alien fleet gathered for its final assault, human leaders authorized a decisive counterstrike. It was a calculated gamble, but one that could change the course of the entire conflict. If Earth's forces could disrupt the alien fleet during this crucial moment, they could bring an end to the invasion. The climactic battle for Earth commenced as both sides unleashed their full might. Alien commanders, desperate to salvage their crumbling campaign, deployed everything at their disposal. But it wasn't enough. Earth's soldiers, now hardened veterans armed with cutting-edge technology, fought back with brutal precision. Alien ships were shot down from the skies, their ground troops decimated, and their command structure dismantled. For the first time in their empire's history, the aliens faced an unimaginable defeat. The humans, whom they had once dismissed as a primitive primitive and inconsequential species, had emerged victorious. With their grit, adaptability, and indomitable spirit, Earth's defenders had turned the tide of the war and secured their planet's survival. The aliens had underestimated humanity in ways they couldn't have imagined. As they prepared for what they believed would be their decisive assault, a coordinated push to overwhelm Earth's remaining defenses, they clung to the belief that their technological superiority would ultimately secure their victory. However, they failed to comprehend the full scope of human resilience and ingenuity. What had begun as a guaranteed conquest had spiraled into a catastrophic failure, yet the invaders still refused to accept the reality of their impending defeat. Earth's forces, now fully armed with adapted alien technology, were prepared for the final phase of the war. Human intelligence agencies had accurately predicted the aliens' next move, and preparations were set in motion. For weeks, military strategists had analyzed the alien fleet's maneuvers, studying their patterns, communication methods, and pinpointing their vulnerabilities. Each encounter had yielded crucial information, and now it was time to capitalize on that knowledge. On the ground, human troops had transformed into a formidable force. The once scattered units relying on guerrilla tactics had evolved into a cohesive and powerful military machine. Every soldier had been trained to operate both human and alien weapons, making them versatile and lethal in any combat scenario. Elite special forces teams were deployed to strike at critical alien installations, targeting command centers and disrupting their control systems. The invaders, who had once relied on their technological dominance, found themselves constantly on the back foot, struggling to maintain control. The skies above Earth had become the ultimate battleground. Hybrid aircraft, born from the fusion of alien and human engineering, now dominated the atmosphere. These ships, equipped with weapons capable of piercing alien shields, flew with speed and precision that even the invaders couldn't match. Human pilots engaged the alien fleet in intense dogfights, striking with brutal accuracy. The alien ships, once seen as untouchable symbols of power, were now falling from the sky in flames, one after another. But the battle wasn't solely about firepower. It was about strategy and adaptability. Earth's military had studied the alien tactics in detail, learning to anticipate their moves. The aliens, locked into their rigid and centralized command structure, couldn't adapt quickly enough to the unpredictable and fluid tactics of the human forces. Earth's military, once fractured and reactive, now operated as a unified force, executing complex strategies with ruthless precision. The aliens, accustomed to steamrolling opposition, found themselves outmaneuvered and outmatched at every turn. As the human counteroffensive surged forward, the psychological toll on the alien forces became evident. The once confident invaders were now gripped by fear and doubt. Rumors spread among their ranks of entire fleets being obliterated by human ingenuity, and stories circulated of supposedly invincible weapons being neutralized. Alien soldiers, who had once marched into battle with unwavering confidence, now hesitated, uncertain of what new tactic or weapon Earth's defenders might unleash next. The invaders had never encountered an enemy like this before, a species that refused to yield, that adapted with every battle and transformed every disadvantage into a strength. The turning point came when Earth's forces launched an unexpected assault on the alien mothership, the central hub of their entire invasion fleet. This enormous vessel served as the nerve center, orchestrating the movements of every alien ship and ground force. The humans knew that neutralizing the mothership would cripple the alien command structure, throwing their forces into chaos. However, the task was far from simple. The mothership was heavily fortified, equipped with the most advanced defenses the aliens possessed. Yet, human intelligence had pinpointed a critical flaw. Despite its nearly impenetrable exterior, the mothership's defenses depended on a single, centralized power source buried deep within the vessel. Destroying that power source would leave the entire ship exposed. A small squad of elite soldiers was given the mission. Armed with cutting-edge hybrid weaponry and cloaking technology, they infiltrated the vessel under the cover of darkness, bypassing alien security systems and navigating their way to the core of the ship. The mission succeeded. The team planted explosive charges around the power core, and as it detonated, the mothership's defenses went dark. Human forces, already positioned for the attack, launched a massive offensive on the now defenseless vessel. Alien ships scrambled to protect the mothership, but without its command and coordination, their efforts were disjointed and ineffective. One by one, Earth's forces picked off the alien ships, targeting them with precise strikes. On the ground, the alien troops were thrown into chaos. Cut off from their fleet and commanders, they were left without orders or direction. Human soldiers, bolstered by their triumphs, pressed their advantage, launching coordinated attacks that overwhelmed alien strongholds. The invaders, who had once seemed invincible, were pushed back on every front. What had once been viewed as an impossible victory for Earth was now becoming a reality. The aliens, so confident in their dominance, had been utterly routed by the very species they had once mocked. The aftermath of the battle resonated across the planet. The alien fleet, which had loomed ominously in Earth's skies, was now nothing more than shattered debris scattered through the atmosphere. Human forces, despite suffering heavy losses, emerged victorious. The remaining alien invaders, those who weren't killed or captured, fled Earth in a hasty retreat, their once proud fleet in ruins. For the first time in history, a species had successfully repelled an invasion from beyond the stars. However, the victory was not without cost. Cities lay in ruins, millions had perished, and the planet's infrastructure was shattered. The process of rebuilding would take years, perhaps even decades. Yet, amidst the destruction, there was a profound sense of hope. Humanity had faced its greatest trial and emerged stronger. The war had united the world in a way previously thought impossible, and among the survivors, a newfound resolve and determination emerged. The aliens had come expecting an effortless conquest, but had encountered a force far greater than anticipated. Humanity's ability to adapt, innovate, and its sheer will to endure had completely blindsided them. What the invaders had dismissed as primitive and weak had ultimately led to their downfall. The humans, with their seemingly outdated tactics and simple weapons, had not only survived the invasion, they had transformed it into a decisive victory. As the last alien ships retreated into the vastness of space, Earth's leaders gathered to discuss what lay ahead. The world had irrevocably changed, and returning to the old ways was impossible. Humanity now knew it was not alone in the universe, and it had proven it was not defenseless. The invasion had compelled Earth to develop new technologies, rethink its military strategies, and unite in a way that had once seemed unimaginable. In the face of an existential threat, humanity had risen to the challenge. The aliens had underestimated them at every step and paid a heavy price for their arrogance. They had believed they would easily conquer Earth, enslave its people, and claim its resources. Instead, they faced a species that refused to submit, one that adapted and fought back with a fierceness they could not counter. Ultimately, it wasn't just Earth's technology or defenses that had won the war. It was the unbreakable spirit of humanity itself.